everybody. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2020, around 5 o'clock p.m. I just got off a Whitehall Street bound W train at the 5th Avenue station. Time is around 5 o'clock p.m. Temperature is 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Today is the first day that New York City has opened up from coronavirus. Exactly 100 days since the first case of coronavirus in the city. This station, 5th Avenue station, seems pretty empty right now. I suspect we won't have that big of a reopening, even though the economy is officially reopened. The subways seem to be running smoothly though. Here's an R train coming in. Not too many people on this train, as you can see. Even though the economy is reopened, subway traffic is not nearly as busy as what it once was. There's some cars I didn't even see a single person in. So, alright, let's go back onto the street now. So in this walk, I plan to walk 5th Avenue from 59th Street all the way to 42nd Street. It'll give a good sense of how the economy is doing and how New York City is handling opening up. This is the 60th Street and 5th Avenue southeast corner. So correction, I'm going to walk from 60th Street to 42nd. But under phase 1 of New York City's reopening, some retail can open up with pickup and curbside delivery, and also some construction and manufacturing and agriculture. So on all those industries, agriculture, manufacturing, retail, the only real kind of industry that is present on 5th Avenue are the retail stores. So we'll see how they're handling this, if they are even open. I saw the Citibank back there was still closed. Now, there's a lot of places here that are boarded up just due to what's going on with the murder of George Floyd and some of the protesters which have become violent. Actually, I'm not even sure if I would call them protesters, but looters who would take advantage of the situation and commit crimes and break into these places to steal things. For the most part, the protests have been pretty peaceful. There's Central Park South, 59th Street, looking towards the Plaza Hotel. As far as car traffic goes, this is not nearly as busy as it was before, but this street does get a lot of traffic because it leads right onto the bridge to Queens. That's the 59th Street Bridge, or its official name, the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge. So here's the most famous retailer on this block of 5th Avenue, the Apple Store Cube, which was open 24 hours, but now it looks like it's the Apple iBox, because it's boxed in with all this. I'm not even sure if it's wood. It looks like it's painted over a different shade. Could be steel or something, but it's very similar to what they used when they were renovating the store and making it bigger. So they could have just reused the same materials, which is kind of ironic. The Apple store undergoes a renovation just to close up using the same materials again. But here it is, that iconic glass cube Apple store is closed off to the public now. So you see, even though retail is allowed to reopen, such as the Apple store, many of the businesses choose not to reopen because there's a lot of different things that factor into it. One, you have the threats from looters still around. That's why you see all the boarded up storefronts. And also the workers. The workers may not feel safe traveling to and from their jobs. Well, you know, New York might be getting back to normal when you have a bicycle cut in front of you like that. Bergdorf Goodman, all boarded up. But I was saying, the workers may not even feel safe to travel into work because of social distancing guidelines, the subway, perceived threats of safety and racism, all these kinds of things. So where's this great reopening of New York City? Everyone was all touting it, saying, hey, everything's going to be back to normal and whatnot. But from the looks of it, here we have one of the most iconic streets in New York City, if not the most iconic, Fifth Avenue, with all the retailers still closed. Now I am going to cross the street here because I cannot cross on the same side of the street between 57th Street and 56th Street. The Trump Tower is there, and that entire block is closed off due to security. Earlier last week, there was a curfew in place for New York City, just so that the city can handle with the mayhem and the chaos that was happening at dark. But that's no longer the case. The curfew was lifted on Sunday. First, the curfew was 11 p.m. and then they moved it up to 8 p.m. You see over there, I think Tiffany saved money on security costs and boarding up their store, because who needs to board up their store when you have Secret Service and a doorman from Trump Tower and NYPD protecting the front? Same with Gucci. So they kind of lucked out and didn't have to put up with this. Okay, here's 56th Street. The traffic right now on Fifth Avenue is pretty much non-existent now. You look up there, you never thought this would be happening. No cars on the street. And then over here, you only have like not even a quarter of the street filled with cars. But I've mentioned this many times before on my channel. It pains me to see Fifth Avenue like this, the once bustling Fifth Avenue, all boarded up. You never imagined this would have happened to our city, but I do know that the city will overcome this, and these businesses and the community in general will go back to normal and be stronger than ever before. New York City has always survived different kinds of issues, such as 9/11, the Great Depression, World War II. We suffered Superstorm Sandy, which was very devastating for everyone. And now I have to put up with racism from that person on the street. I haven't gotten too much racism recently, but when I hear stuff like that, it really makes me like feel for people and wish we could all live in peace and hope everything goes back together. You know, it's not right if, you know, there's a race that starts something and then you blame it on an individual for causing it. That's not really what it's about. But I know racism and social issues right now are more important than ever, so. Well, the buses are still active on 5th Avenue. I'm wondering how many of these businesses will reopen or will close their stores permanently. Wow, it looks like Uniqlo is not boarded up here. Is Uniqlo actually open? It will be a shock if they are. New York City pigeons having their meal on the sidewalk. Okay, Uniqlo might be open. Are they? Oh no, it says it's closed until further notice. It just looked like it was open. But Uniqlo is not boarded up. Which is a shocker because it seems like every other business is boarded up. That is the largest Uniqlo store in New York City. Some businesses have taken security to the next level by actually hiring private security. There's people here hanging out in front of the Nike store. And I'm actually going to pass by Saks Fifth Avenue in 2 blocks. I'll see how Saks Fifth Avenue is handling this. Nike store with private security in front. This alone is enough to deter people from breaking in. And then you have businesses across the street with no security. Saks Fifth Avenue took it up to the next level because they have private security, barbed wire, and guard dogs. And by private security, I mean tons of private security. I know they were there 2 days ago when I walked by, but let's see if there are today. And yes, they are. I'm going to cross over the street. Actually, I'll go straight and then I'll make a left. This is a safer way to cross the street right now. I've only got a few seconds. Patrick's Cathedral. You know, New York's back to normal when you start to hear emergency sirens all the time. Or maybe not. I think horn honking is more signature of going back to normal for New York City. And as soon as I said that, there's a horn honk. I guess I can predict everything, right? Okay, I have reached Fort Sachs, because Fort Sachs, no one's getting into Fort Sachs. It's more secure than the White House with all these private security, guard dogs. There's a guard dog right there. Doggy's having a poo-poo though, so can't dog while taking a poo-poo. But yeah, Saks Fifth Avenue, man, you cannot mess with them. They even got a pit bull here, so no one's breaking into Saks tonight, or today for that matter. I think Saks Fifth Avenue is prepared for the end of the world, the apocalypse, or the final wave of a zombie invasion. And I'm staying away from these pit bulls because they're so mean looking. They look very good, look very cute, but they are mean. Believe me, they'll eat me for lunch. They got 4 dogs here. Amazing that I see Saks Fifth Avenue like this. Meanwhile, 6 months ago in December, they had the holiday windows up for Frozen 2. I don't know what breed of dog that is, but they are trained to attack. And here's Puma. I think Puma should have the, I think it's the panther out here in front defending the store. I don't think I want to mess with a panther either. TGI Fridays, I think, is open, but the lights are turned off, so maybe not. But many of the large chain restaurants are open right now. The restaurants have been open ever since the pandemic and the pause on New York State on pause came to the city. They just have to abide by a few rules. Only pickup or delivery is allowed at this time. But yeah, New York City's reopened, folks, but the retailers still aren't, even though they're allowed to. H&M, large store here, glass. Seems like the traffic's getting a lot busier down here, which is surprising. What did return to New York too in the reopening of the economy are construction jobs. So I wonder if there'll be a lot of construction around. But construction was never really shut down in New York. Essential construction for like replacement of infrastructure and repairs to bridges, things of that sort, were always allowed to continue. But the non-essential construction, like building a new skyscraper or adding an expansion onto a building, that's all been halted until today. I think one of these days, maybe even today, I'll make it over to Hudson Yards where there's a lot of construction going on there. I don't know for sure if construction industry is open back in New York City if I go there. Up until today, it's been quiet over there. I can't wait for the city to reopen again and Fifth Avenue to be full of life. I don't know how long it will take, but until that happens, we just have to take it one day at a time. There's many people who ask me, hey, I have my trip planned for December, or I want to book a trip later this year. Will I still be able to visit? And I tell them, no one really knows the answer. We can all make best guesses, but as for a best guess, I really think New York City will open fully to tourism in October. I think Broadway is closed until September, so we have that one time frame to work with. So if Broadway is opening up in September, maybe even October, then I think the rest of tourism and the economy in general will reopen around that time, because Broadway theaters will be the last to reopen. I think they're going to reopen under phase 4. There's 4 different phases to New York City to be opening. When phase 2 happens, I expect a lot of life to come back to the city. Phase 2 includes the office buildings and things like hair salons and beauty salons. I'm not sure what phase 3 is, but most of the tourist attractions won't open up until phase 4. Phase 4 mostly has to do with the hospitality and travel industry. Another thing for these businesses to consider too, and these tall buildings, are the elevators, because of the guidelines for social distancing and the decrease in occupancy. Will it be safe for multiple people to go into an elevator at the same time? The only reasonable way to get up to the top floor of, say, that building is to take the elevator. And if you only allow 1 or 2 people at a time, and the whole building needs to be filled up, and people need to go to work and get out of the building, it's going to take forever just to ride the elevators. You may have to wait an hour just to get on the elevator. So I think things are going to be a lot different now in the city, due to all the rules and regulations that are going to have to be put in place. Here's Best Buy on Fifth Avenue. I'm not sure which businesses were looted on Fifth Avenue from the news, but I do know the Best Buy on 14th Street was looted. This is about a week ago. UPS is knocking on the door. Not sure if they'll open up for UPS or if anyone's even in there. There's Grand Central Terminal over there. Okay, here is 42nd Street, and where I'll be ending the video, I'll start a new one going across 42nd Street to Times Square. But if you enjoyed this video, my first video of the New York City economy reopening under phase 1, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for some more adventures and content. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all next time, folks. Take it easy, stay safe, and take care. Bye-bye.
The next stop is 5th Avenue.
Close the doors, please.